Hey, what's going on everyone? It's Matt, and in this video, we're going to look at some previous videos and the comments. Not the videos themselves, but we're going to talk about the actual comments that have come in. So some great, some good, some not so nice. But let's take a look at those and have a little bit of fun with this today. So from Adar Gaming 2332, as just a few days ago on our flight planning video, he says, I use SimBrief because Navigraph charts cost money. So I was asking, hey, what do you guys use if you're not using Navigraph? He says he uses SimBrief because Navigraph costs money, which it does. So from my experience, but when you put money down, normally you get a better product. Not always the case, but Navigraph does have some pretty cool stuff there. SimBrief is owned, I believe, by Navigraph, as well as was said by Rich Avery here as well. So I use ChartFox, which only has charts for sims in it. So you can get alternative options there if you don't want to pay for Navigraph. I think for what Navigraph costs per year, it was like $80 USD. I think that's a pretty, if you're going to be a good flight, if you're going to be into your flight simming, they're going to keep things up to date. It's going to be a good option. So just my thoughts. We also have IR Wayrite 1457 who says, if only I got the winning Powerball ticket for last Saturday. Wait, no, if I did win, I would buy the real airplane. Yes, I totally agree with that. That is definitely the way to go. Definitely pick yourself up the real aircraft, depending on what the Powerball is, what it's running. SimPilot 3D, speaking of exclusive SimPit review, says, thank you, Flight Sim Guides, for putting together this beautiful review. Your delivery is spot on, and I hope some of what we've shared will give some of your subscribers ideas or inspiration. Guys, that's the idea. I want you guys to be inspired. I want you to have great ideas. Dale, your flight sim was amazing. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to do a review on that. All right. Butch Knackley says, I've been using Microsoft Flight Simulator forever. I started with Microsoft Flight Simulator 2000. I bought everyone since. They all worked pretty much flawlessly. I'm going to leave my comments to myself on that. But now after 4 years, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 is still a broken product. That I kind of would agree with. But I don't really have a lot to talk about. I've only been using Microsoft Flight Simulator kind of regularly for a few weeks now. Mainly the disconnection of controls during a flight. Haven't seen that yet. Sometimes using the brakes during taxi, the game will say you crashed. That would suck. Instead of fixing this and other issues with the game, Asobo just keeps adding stupid game features such as Dune. No doubt for the Xbox crowd, they killed the Google Maps mod. Didn't know they had one, but I would imagine that they stuck to Bing Maps because they own it. And so I can't leave. Oh wait, and I can't leave out the silly twirling airplanes, vehicles, etc. that appear at airports. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 actually worked well its first year or so, but has only gotten worse since, and fixing things is not a priority to the devs. I don't know how true any of that is, guys. I don't, because I haven't really played it, but I wouldn't be surprised from the things that I've heard. And Butch says, I doubt I'll buy Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. I like the idea behind what they're doing with Microsoft Flight 2024. So I'd like to see that, as opposed to just flying around. It's really going to give you a lot of the options with the businesses and everything, and kind of give you a reason to play it, so it's going to be more gamified. I like the concept behind that, but I'm kind of curious, are they going to fix some of this stuff, like you said? So John Leach, 2484, says, not impressed. Well, John Leach, I'll tell you what, go f*** yourself. That's my thoughts. All right, Joel V 44945, whatever it is, says, to be honest, the M2 Pro Mini is in a tough spot. Once you upgrade the GPU and the memory, you're better off with the base Studio, which comes with a better CPU, GPU, and even 10 gigabytes of Ethernet, all for less money. Joel, I agree. Fully agree with that. I definitely agree. So if you can find that good balance of what means the most to you and how much money you want to spend, you might find that base Studio actually, and I think in that video, it's been a while since I made that, I might have mentioned that, that base Studio, and that was I would go with a Studio if you're going to build a flight sim out of a Mac, because you're going to overdo, I've overdone this Mac. I'm really close to overdoing the PC back here, and the more you can get up front, basically you're buying yourself a little bit of time by upgrading up front, but It's better than having a slowpoke computer that's going to crash all the time. So make sure to get what is good for you. 333 Raffles. He says, Logitech yoke, levers, rudders, and air manager work fine on my iMac M3, but the flight panels do not. Can't find any plugins to fix. I did 333 Raffles. I did come in here and find some links to show you how that works. If you're on an iMac M3, chances are you're probably using XPlane, so that would make sense. I did get it to work on XPlane 12 and 11 and 12. It was pretty much worked exactly the same. You pretty much just stick the stuff that's in the plugin. You download a zip file, stick the stuff that's in there into a plugin directory that they tell you to put it into, and it worked right off the bat. So shouldn't be too bad. All right. Helicopters Virtual Microsoft Flight Simulator 6254 12 days ago says, sensational. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Taken a lot of time and effort to put together some of these videos, and I hope that you like them, and I'm glad that you're having a good time with them. So let's see. We got Tunk says, when flying with helicopter, you definitely notice all the graphic details, so cloud shadows, etc. are very welcome. And that makes a lot of sense. From a helicopter guy, that kind of makes sense. That some of my favorite flying was actually being able to fly NOE, or flying at basically right over the top of the treetops, and flying at ground level where you can see a lot of that graphic detail. And I'm talking about real life. So I would imagine that would actually transfer the graphics wise. That would be really nice to have those good graphics in the flight sim. So you would want that in, whether it's Microsoft Flight Simulator or XPlane 12. Yep. So that's going to be really great. Exactly. XN2JT says, when can it be updated? Talking about XPlane 12.1.0. I don't know. That's not I think I said, not my circus, not my monkeys. They'll update it when they have it ready. If there's one thing that I know from being in program software development for the last 10 to 12 years as my day job, my regular real world thing is I work with software, online software, basically the same as this. They'll release it when they're ready to release it. They'll release it when it's ready and they feel that it's ready. One thing I promise you do not want to see is for them to release it before it's ready. So give them their time. Hopefully they get it to us soon, but if you have to wait, trust me, there's probably a reason. Just find something else to do in the meantime, all right? Would you please show me how to move the Garmin? Ron Plosky says, would you show me how to move the Garmin G1000? 2 screens to my 21-inch screen from the main screen. I have a Knobster. Which Cessna 1782 do I need to get? You should be able to use the, whether you use Microsoft Flight Simulator or in XPlane, either one of them, you should be able to use the stock 172s. They do have one. You will need to use the one that has the G1000. There should be one with steam gauges, and then they're also going to have one with the G1000. You should be able to click on it anywhere, and it will pop out on the screen. And then up in the top corner, wherever the top corner is, somewhere up there, you will be able to, top right corner, there should be a way to click on that pop out, and it will make it movable so that you can move it onto your 21-inch screen or wherever you want to move those to. If you got G1000, you may need 2 screens. That way you can have one G1000 on one of your screens and another G1000 on the other one, so that you can use them like you would in a regular cockpit. Json D7978 says, you're too grown to be this whiny. Well, you're probably too grown to be a trolly little All right. Having a 60% keyboard is your choice. Get a real keyboard. Impending Joker. Also, RRKL6SL. All right, it says, you're so right about the brakes, man. I have an Xbox. Took me 15 minutes to get the brakes off, and the eVTOL rotors are impossible to turn on. Then the graphics are amazing, and the options to fly anywhere is great. So, yeah, I agree. I have figured out some workarounds since making this video. That was my epic reaction to flying and trying out Microsoft Flight Simulator for the first time. And I figured basically just figured out a lot of the hotkeys. You can Google the hotkeys and figure out what they are right away, or you can go through and figure them out. I've gotten most of this stuff that I have on my sim back here to work in Microsoft Flight Simulator, so that's working pretty good. And why would you buy a keyboard with no numpad? Well, that's a good question. I don't really do any data input, so why would I need a numpad? Also, when I bought that keyboard, I was looking for basic size of the keyboard to just, I've got a lot of crap on a small desk, guys. I've got cameras, laptops, multiple screens, microphones. Yeah, you know what? Because I just didn't want to get a numpad. Why get the extra space if I don't need it? John Porter, 5828, we're talking about the Microsoft Flight Simulator or XPlane, which to use video. A lot of people really want to know the answer. You know, which one should they be using? That will stop a lot of people in their tracks when they're at the beginning of their journey trying to figure out which flight sim should they be using, Microsoft Flight Simulator or XPlane. Or when they settle on XPlane, now they're going to settle on which one should I be using, XPlane 11 or XPlane 12, right? So John Porter says, I've used both, currently suffering with Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. Sorry to hear that. Load time is 5 minutes plus from a solid state card. That sucks. A lot of the load time might be based on the CPU as well. But John goes on to say, I do love the graphics and the ability to explore the world. The biggest piece of advice, if you want training and to master the operation of planes, use XPlane. I think that's great advice. If you want good simulation of planes, but primarily want scenery, use Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. Both are good sims. All right, I think that's pretty much probably the best wrap up of Microsoft Flight Simulator and XPlane that you could get. And that's pretty much what I said in that video when I made it. And even today, after getting more used to using Microsoft Flight Simulator, I still agree with that advice. So thank you, John Porter. I definitely agree there. Mel Mech says, this was a few weeks ago on designing a flight sim using MacBook Pro for live streaming. Says, do I play any flight sims? No. Have I ever watched anything flight sim? No. Did I watch this entire video? Yes. All right. So Mel Mech, thank you for watching. And I hope that maybe you get into flight. Maybe this is what gets you started in flight simming, right? Cool. All right. Dizzle says, how big a hole do I need to drill to install this on my panel? Talking about the pause button that I have on here. And I made a really boring video about installing the pause video like a long time ago. Real fun. Go watch that if you get real bored. There's pretty good potential that maybe I was being trolled. I'm not sure. But he says, flight sims, cool. And would you say this pause button will help me pick up hot babes? Yeah. Dizzle. Only the finest. If you bring this topic up at the bar with a woman that you just met, I promise you'll never go home alone. Absolute panty dropper this one is. And Dizzle says, sweet. All right, so we'll leave it at that for this one. I think that will definitely, we'll call it good there. If you guys like these kinds of videos and you guys want to see me go through more comments and talk live about these and have a little bit of back and forth with you guys or back and forth with my camera talking about stuff that I've already responded to. Some of these I've responded to, some of them I haven't. So I like talking about this stuff and really putting an explanation on there and just, you know, whatever, just talking. I like getting in here and talking to you guys. So let me know what you guys want to see next, and I will catch up with you guys in another video. Leave me a comment down below and tell me what you guys want to know more about. I'll catch up with you in another video. Take care. Talk soon. Hey, if you haven't already done so, head over to EliteSimBuild.com, grab a copy of our Home Flight Simulator Resource Guide. Do that thing where you click the button, give us your email address, and we will send you a copy of our simulator guides where you can get the resource list, the avionics reviews, a panel blueprint, so that way you guys can send that off to your panel guy, get all the parts and pieces that you need. You'll know exactly what software to pick up so you can get your Cessna 172 flight simulator built today.